Hello and welcome to Fresh Face One Shots. My name is Joey,
And I'm Jacob.
and today we are back for the final issue of Batman the Brave and the Bold. This is issue number 20. It is the end of the run. I am incredibly sad, but also it was a lot to cover each and every month. So,
I'm both. I'm sad that it's over. I'm happy that it happened, but it'll be very nice to not have a nearly 70-page comic every month.
How do we make it not sound like we're happy about this? Because we're not.
I'm actually quite sad about this.
Yeah,
especially because this was such an opportunity for a lot of people to pick up a book with a bunch of different characters. It's a nice anthology. Anthologies just don't sell anymore in Western comics.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, for almost 2 years now, this comic has brought me like so many different writers and artists that I'd never even heard of, telling all kinds of stories with some of my favorite characters ever. And I will be so grateful that this book existed in the way that it did. So for that, let's take one final look at The Brave and the Bold with our first story today, The Price by Ty Templeton. Both writing and drawing. Yes.
And then I also do want to call out the colors to the story, Monica Kubina, at the top of this one here, because this is just a DC animated universe story, basically. In terms of the designs and the colors, and that is the vibe,
and also the continuity involving Zatanna and Bruce. I mean,
yeah. So, actually, if we're gonna do a theme for this final issue in general, it seems to be like exploring different universes because, I'm
not sure any of these are meant to be the same continuity. At the very least, the Price is breaking something by trying. Like it's very much evoking a continuity like pre-New 52 because there are direct references to like. JLA involved when Zatanna was on the JLA in the 70s and 80s with Batman. Like, it's great. It's a great thing. Anyway, we have a story told out of order here, which I really like. Very fun. We start off in the present, and this is a story involving Batman, Zatanna, and most importantly, Batmite, who is here to talk to us, the reader, about this crazy adventure that he had with Zatanna. But however, because he is from the fifth dimension, it's going to be told backwards. So we start off in the present. And I gotta be honest, I don't quite see how a lot of these events are related.
That's kind of the point. That is, because it's also, it's told backwards through a long period of time.
Yes. We're talking, present day, current continuity, Batman and Zatanna, and then going all the way back to Bronze Age stuff, and going back to Zatanna as a child. And
if we want to be technical, Golden Age Action Comics, and then ending
because Zatara,
and then ending in alternate future DCAU land.
Yes, with Terry McGinnis, possibly Tim Drake, Batman Beyond. Wait, I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
I am vaguely aware that there was a continuity where Tim Drake was involved in Batman Beyond at some point.
This was New 52 bullshit. Was this
Future's End bullshit?
This is Future's End bullshit. Yeah. So
everything I hear about Future's End,
it's not great. But yeah, so it's a fun romp. It's a fun enough time. You follow Zatanna backwards, and which is obviously a play on Zatanna's spells being all backwards. It's fun. There's a John Constantine appearance, which means my comic shop owner has to pick this issue up, and that's on him. There's a great Justice League satellite scene between Batman and Zatanna. I love all the Zatara scenes towards the end. They're fantastic. You get some escape artist Bruce Wayne in there, and like I said, Zatanna as a child. It's fun.
Well, it's interesting because I think it's trying to give an origin story almost for Batmite, that Batmite's portal into this world out of the fifth dimension was through baby Zatanna,
just accidentally practicing with magic.
which is interesting. Also, it makes me want to read a Zatanna run. Zatanna deserves a run. Like,
well, she has a miniseries coming up, written and drawn by Jamal Campbell.
How long is the miniseries?
6 issues.
When does it start?
I think this month, actually.
This month, January? This month?
This month, January, I believe, yeah. Either that or it's February. It's one of the two.
Okay, I'm going to contemplate things because...
Brave the Bold just ended, and you're already looking to replace it. I see how it is.
Here's the thing. We weren't going to replace it. We had a plan. We were going to wait.
But here you are, getting tempted by the Jamal Campbell Zatanna.
I'm also being tempted by Jeremy Adams' Aquaman, too. Like, there are things that are tempting me.
I'm buying Jamal Campbell Zatanna already. So no matter what you do, I will have it. Anyway, that is our first story, though. We have our second story today, or rather the end of a story today, with Man's Underworld Part 2 by Dave Wildghost? I don't know. I'm sorry. I got nothing. And so, sorry. The problem with showcasing so many writers and artists that I'm unfamiliar with is that half the time I have no clue how to say their names. So let's finish this story here, back with our Wonder Woman Plastic Man story, with a flashback starting off with Plastic Man and Roulette here, before jumping back to the present, where we have a great fight scene with Plastic Man and this club here. We still have Wonder Woman still in disguise, and eventually unveiling herself as Wonder Woman, getting this like great action sequence with Wonder Woman and Plastic Man fighting off these gangsters here. My God, I love that 2-page spread where Diana transforms into Wonder Woman, and we have Plastic Man's face in the bottom left there. So much fun.
Well, because she's got to do the Linda Carter transformation sequence. Because
of course, it looks fantastic. I really do love Again, I shouldn't even try to pronounce names on here. The fantastic artist on this story.
It's Nicola Szymajska.
Sure, yeah, I believe
that is my attempt at it. It's probably wrong too, because
that's why I just don't try. That's anyway. We have Wonder Woman tying up Roulette with the lasso of truth, and eventually it latching on to Plastic Man as well, which seems to transform Plastic Man back into the man we see in the flashbacks with Roulette. And Plastic Man gets pissed off and leaves Wonder Woman as they escape the club when she gets her lasso back. And there's this really, really great scene where Plastic Man kind of lashes out at Wonder Woman here, where he says not everyone's truth belongs to you. There's this great idea of him hiding himself and creating this identity of Plastic Man. And him telling her about his past with Roulette and all the sort of the criminal dealings he was involved in, and it's just a really great moment for Plastic Man as a character. And
a nice little ending to the story as well, because they come to an understanding, and it's a very nice ending to a story that I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this might have been scripted for 3 parts, and they were okay, we gotta put it down to 2.
Yeah, it does end a bit quickly, but I do still really like the ending, and yeah, it's great. It was just a little tag at the end, the end of our story, but just the start of a lovely partnership, which it is. I like seeing these characters together. I'd like to see it elsewhere.
Tom King likes to bring in random DC Universe characters, so
Plastic Man is a very Tom King character. He has he written anything for Plastic Man before?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, we go to our next story today though with "Keep It Down" by Hassan Otsmane Elhaou, I think.
That's pretty close.
This is
the H might be silent in the surname, but
sure. Anyway, let's get a story about Onomatopoeia in here.
Yeah,
let's. This is very fun. What did you know about Onomatopoeia before this, Jacob?
That he's a Green Arrow villain.
He is a Green Arrow villain. Created by Kevin Smith, actually. Yeah.
I believe you've told me that before.
Yeah, he also just recently appeared in Batman: Cape Crusader, the animated series.
Right. I still need to check that out. I haven't watched that.
Oh god, I binged that whole thing in one day. It was so fucking good, man. But yeah, we have this story here, which I really love the idea of. It is the idea of onomatopoeia being sort of affected by the very sounds that he employs in his line of work. It leads to, importantly, the writer of this story is also the letterer on this story, and you can see why, because like there's this great control over like how the lettering. It's mostly used for the onomatopoeia throughout the story, not the person onomatopoeia, but the noun onomatopoeia throughout the story. Wait, no. That's the person. Fuck. Okay. Anyway, the lettering's great. Is all I'm trying to say.
Just gonna let you keep going with this until you break. Okay.
Nope, I've broken already. It's fine.
Yeah, because this is also interesting because it's it kind of implies that he has sensory processing issues, which is really interesting. Like, not necessarily the best to be as part of like a villain, because giving villains disabilities has a long and problematic history, but it's still an interesting look at like how this person survives.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's also kind of the weird idea that like by the end of the story that, and again, yeah, with portraying villains with disabilities like this is a little dicey, but also onomatopoeia is a bad guy, and it's the implication is that he kind of deserves this shit that he goes through in a weird way,
which is again a little bit problematic, but
it's a little dicey. But I do like the take on the character. Like I don't know, just getting inside his head in this way. It's fun. It's fun to read, and yeah, it's nice. It's a good story. I enjoyed it. But yeah. We have our second to last story then, with Hive Mind Part 2, finishing off Michael W. Conrad's Martian Manhunter Animal Man story. Here we go. So part 1 of this, I'll be honest, didn't entirely grab me. I thought it was fine, fine enough story, decent idea, but where this went is what I really loved about it. So, Animal Man's daughter is still going through some shit inside her own mind. Martian Manhunter trying to like save her in there. We get some great scenes of like her like lashing out with her powers inside here. And Martian Manhunter brings Animal Man in with him, and there is this great idea that what his daughter is really struggling with is the almost cynical nature of nature, I think. And that is that
life. Like, it's the idea that life doesn't care; it just keeps going.
Yeah, and it's kind of tearing her up inside. And Animal Man is here to sort of walk her through this. Like, there's no easy answer to that. It's just it's part of life. We're all part of a system, and you just kind of have to find a way to keep going. I don't know. I really love it. I gotta say, I also really love the imagery throughout this story, with art by Christopher Mitten, a name I can't pronounce. That I really love when as Animal Man begins to like describe the way that he sort of learns to deal with this. The art really changes from these like really like strange, harsh lines and like bizarre imagery to these like softer tones, and these really like swirly lines that I think like really show how her mindscape is sort of like changing as she like takes in this new information. It's really cool. God, I love it. It's just a fantastic idea for a story, and in the end we ended on a great little last page zinger with Martian Manhunter that I really enjoy. But yeah, that was that. Lovely story, really lovely story. I kind of wish it was almost like included as one, because like I said, like part 1 I didn't really grab me too much, but this I really loved part 2.
We close out the issue and the run
with The Tattoo, written and drawn by Simone DeMeo, who has been drawing every single cover for Batman the Brave and the Bold throughout its entire run, which I fucking love. It's a perfect way to end this run. The only way that it could be any better is if it was a black and white story, but I'm fine with that.
But you would miss. I think, yes, one final black and white would have been nice, but like the use of colors in this one, and DeMayo's art is fascinating. Also, he draws they draw Bruce Wayne like Robert Pattinson.
Totally. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, wonderful Bruce Wayne style here. But essentially, Bruce keeps getting tattoos all over his body.
Okay, can I just say that as a premise, like, it's this great little horror premise?
Yeah. I mean, like, especially for a character like Bruce Wayne, who is so constantly aware of his surroundings and what he's doing,
and is always drawn with scars and tattoos. These tattoos clearly represent those scars. Like
he doesn't know where meaning. He doesn't know where these tattoos are coming from. They all have a meaning. The first one, I did kind of laugh on the first page. The first one's really funny. It's a revolver with pearls wrapped around it with a little thing that says family. It's really funny. I thought it was funny, at least.
It's almost like subtlety is dead or something.
Well, I mean, they're obviously not meant to be subtle. These are things that Bruce is just constantly dealing with in his head, because of course it's all a mental thing. And God, I love where this all kind of goes with the giant Joker back tattoo. Very cool. Simone DeMayo, of course, being the writer and artist on this, does some fantastic artwork throughout. I love especially the it's 54 on the digital issue. That's sort of like those spiraling panels, sort of like targeting in on like Bruce on the ground with that great silhouette of Batman going into that final panel on the bottom of him walking down the hall. It looks fantastic. Really, really great art here. And we end here with Bruce sort of like calling out for Alfred, and Alfred kind of being there for him in the end. And it's a really sweet idea, and Alfred is the one to sort of like bring him back to earth and like calm him down. It's really great. And just a great end to the story. Great end to the issue, and great end to the run as a whole. So that was Batman the Brave and the Bold. I'm really sad. Yeah, just, oh man.
Why? Well, I mean, I know why, because it probably wasn't selling the best. Because
didn't I call you like about 4 or 5 months back? I was like, it's probably gonna end soon. like there was just something in me that was like, it's probably just my constantly buying new things that come out. I'm like, you can just kind of tell when a run is coming towards its end, or when something just isn't selling super well. But it is what it is. It was a Bat book, so of course, the fact that it was able to last nearly 2 years, I think, is impressive in the first place. The fact that this run was able to spotlight so many great writers and artists, telling really, really great
and
stories.
Spotlight some different characters.
Yeah. I'm really grateful that this book existed as it was. I do wish it is properly collected somehow someday, because we only really have Winning Card, which I'm very sad about, and I think we should have more collected.
Because I mean, Winning Card was a great story.
Winning Card is fantastic, obviously.
But it was by far not the best thing that this book put out. Like,
ooh, what do you think the best story of Brave and the Bold has been?
The Nightwing Deadman crossover, honestly.
Oh, that's a good call.
Hit really hard, and I want that crossover because we've also got Kelly Jones art. But also some of the individual one and dones were fantastic. And
I found a lot of my favorites throughout the whole run were the one and dones. I think my favorite of the whole run was probably Mother's Day.
Also fantastic.
That just gave me a great appreciation for Bruce, for that side of Bruce, and also has gotten me wanting to read Gotham Academy, and I still haven't, but I will, I swear. But yeah, I don't know. I love that one. There have been a lot of really great stories. So please, if you have not checked out this run, please do. It's all out now. You can check it all out. It's truly, not all of them were winners, of course, but God, there were some great ones, and it's worth your time, I would say. So, all that said, that is the end of Batman the Brave and the Bold. Be sure to check out other Fresh Face one-shots we do. We cover Superman by Joshua Williamson, Wonder Woman by Tom King. Normally this is where I say Brave and the Bold by Various.
You're going to start catching yourself.
Yeah, no longer, I suppose. It's been so part of my regular one-shot outro that I have to cycle that out now. But we do also cover Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, the supposed end of the Long Halloween saga. We're also covering The Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, as it's currently crossing over with X-Men. The final issue of that crossover is already out by the time the video is out, so our video on that will probably be out Sunday. So check that out when it's out. Also check out the main podcast, Fresh Face Comics. We're covering Suicide Squad stuff currently. The final episode of that block will be out very soon. And also our link trees will be in the description below. You can follow us wherever you want to follow us. Blue Sky especially, that'd be awesome. Subscribe to the channel, Blood Donut Studios. Any and all support means the absolute world to us. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
And Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.